discussion. That is the next section of this thing. A short statement of the problem can be given under discussion. Results are to be compared with what has been in previous literatures, highlighting conformity or deviation. The purpose of discussion of results is to communicate what was learned and how the result led to the conclusion. The results are discussed in terms of what they show about the results and what they mean in the context of the goal of what? The reports. Okay? Explanation of the results should include comments or unexpected results and offering reasons or hypotheses for such behavior. Discussion forms the bridge between the original observation and what they ultimately mean to the world, to the reader. And finally, a statement of how the result findings can be applied to the scientific world or daily life should also be what? Discussed. So under discussion, for instance, now you obtain a pH of 9.0. What is it telling you? So that is your result, is that not? But under discussion, what will you say? The pH of the sample is having 9, meaning that the sample is what? Alkaline. Are you understanding? Show that it's alkaline result. So there you explain each result you obtain. Then you also tell us whether your result, does it conform? Is it in conformity? Does it correlate? Is it similar? Is it being upheld? Okay, does it give credence to previous studies or previous researches or previous publications? Okay, or does it deviate? Or is it contrary? Does it contradict what other people did? Does it contradict? Your finding, does it contradict or is it similar? Is it in tandem? Does it conform? Is it in line? Is it similar? Okay, does it corroborate with what other people did or does it deviate? Okay, so also even there statistically too, your statistic result also can be discussed. For instance, now your hypothesis of null and alternative hypothesis too. For instance, you want to test, you did a statistics that want to tell that so plant material can cure malaria, for instance. That is your hypothesis, that the extract of this can cure malaria. The other negative hypothesis is that the extract of this cannot cure. At the end of your result, you subject your result to statistical analysis, and you find out that it's what? Significant, less than your threshold value, depending on the confidence interval, either 90 or 99 or 95%. You set your result. So you see, in that case, since you support your hypothesis, your discussion will be that the statistically it is significant, meaning that your extract can do what? Can cure malaria. Can cure malaria infection in when people use them or whatever. Okay, so these are things that is expected in what? Discussion. So your discussion should be self-explanatory. You should offer reasonable reasons. That is, offer reasons why, comment where necessary. Okay, and tell us whether it supports your hypothesis or not. Okay, so you should also tell us, give us a statement whether it supports daily life. How does it support daily life? How does it contribute to daily life? How does it apply to daily life? Is it significant or not significant? Does it contribute? What does it do? Okay. So these are things that are expected in what? Under the results section. Okay. The conclusion section now. On the basis of the result obtained, the conclusion are drawn. Conclusion is a concise statement of the results and their significance to the topic or knowledge. So you conclude. You see, my experience have shown me that students in time past will just bring you conclusion of. They will go to journal and copy people's conclusion. In fact, when you are reading, you find out that what the conclusion they went to journals and or any material and copy is even contradict or is not similar to what they carried out. That is confusion. That is ridiculous. That is a paradox. So please derive your own conclusion. Don't go and copy people's conclusion. Though you can see the pattern of how they wrote their own, but it should not be exact as they do. You cannot design your own conclusion, derive your own in line to how those writers presented their own conclusion. Okay. Recommendation is the next one there. Suggestion for further works could be carried out in areas that the writers wish could be extended, provided the work time permits. Okay. It is to guide future workers working on similar topics who want to extend the study. Suggestions for further works are important to those who must act on the report. So mostly in recommendation, we recommend that the work should be, action should be taken by government, NGOs, policymakers, and those that stakeholders. Okay, or you can recommend that future work based on limitation of the study did should be carried out. Okay. So under the recommendation too, okay, so maybe you carry out that Baba Kole this thing. You see this statistical stuff and optimized and did the optimization study. So part of the limitation, for instance, you can look at maybe you didn't use some instrument. Maybe you use a normal laboratory analysis. Maybe you use titrimetric. So maybe you didn't use instrumental analysis. Maybe instrument like GCMS or spectrophotometer or electrophoretic analysis to study all those things. So part of your work you can possibly say is that you see there is limitation in that study, for instance. So part of your work is that a future study should focus on using analytical instrument to measure the protease production. Are you understanding? So and many more. So we should recommend based on weaknesses. Okay, based on weaknesses or limitation of the current study, we should do the recommendations based on them, and it will help future workers, if they want to continue with the work. Okay. For instance, personally, my master's work was based on the recommendation I made for my BSc, and my PhD work was based on the recommendation I made for my master's. You understand? Some of the limitations I cited in my master, I continue it in my PhD. Some of the limitations I cited in my BSc, I continue in my master's studies. So this is what is expected, and you see, it gives me a myriad of high content of my area of research. Okay, so contribution to knowledge of science. Here it is. Here, the impact factor of the research work should be stated and itemized respectively. Contribution. Here we itemize 1, 2, 3. Even recommendation, you can also itemize recommendation 1, recommendation 2, recommendation 3. Okay. So the writer or the researcher should be able to state, okay, or make his or her work unique or novel from previous studies or research work. Okay. So here now there should be novelty. You should mention the novelty. What do you think that made your work different from what people have done in time past? Okay, so there should be novelty. You should itemize, mention the novelty, state it. Okay. In case of research under finding by an appropriate body, that is sorry, under funding, not finding. Under funding, that is money. Maybe you got a grant, research grant, okay, to carry out the research. People supported you, maybe organization or company. Such research may be patented or placed in archive or library or museum or displayed for public enlightenment or sensitization. So the outcome of that research can be patented. So the outcome of that research can be what? Patented or placed in what? Archive or library or museum or displayed for public enlightenment and sensitization, as I had said initially. Okay, so the essence of science is to see something that will help humanity, and that could be of what? Help. That could be of what? Help to what? To humanity. Okay. References and appendices. So we'll start with references. References were provided in the report if someone else's opinions, theories, data, or research funding were used. So we cite people when we use their work. Just like this one too, I was able to cite. I'll show you at the end of this the references I use. So cite people when you use people's work. Very important. Imagine you did a work for 20 years or 10 years and bring out something in writing, and someone just somewhere, somehow, somewhat make use of your intellectual contribution without citing you. How will you feel? Sincerely, you feel bad. So likewise, the golden rule: do unto others as you want them do unto you. Failure to indicate the source of the idea suggests that the writer is wrongly claiming another person's idea or words to be used his own. This is known as plagiarism, an offense punishable in the academic cycle. Referencing on sources is also encouraged because it strengthens the writer's argument and adds credibility to the write-up. Referencing shows wide knowledge in the subject matter and identify the critical aspects of other research in a similar area. There are two different types of references used in science. Alphabetical reference list according to author, used with author to date, APA system. And then the Harvard numbering system. Here in our institution, we use, most institutions in Nigeria here, we use a APA style of reference. Okay? But in some schools like in Europe, America, they adopt the Harvard. Even some also Chicago numbering too. They also do it. Okay? There should be consistency with APA format. Example of how to cite, okay, are listed below. So notes, our watchword here, avoid plagiarism because it is what? Unethical. You know I emphasized this in previous slide. Okay? So like I said, this is just want to make a little emphasis. You see here the Tetubum 3 noted that while reviewing the work done by another, there are 5 types of notes that can be taken. So this kind of reference in the author and the number followed in bracket is what we call the Harvard referencing pattern. That is the Harvard. Are you understanding? But here now, the APA style of reference is the one I have provided for you. So this is how we do put our full references on our referential page. You can see if it's journal we have Oyeleke, I, F, full stop. So the surnames are commaized, while the initials are full stopped. Okay, followed by the year in bracket, followed by the title of the work, the name of the journal, the volume, the series. So volume represents the year, series represents the number produced in that year. Like here, the first one there is 4. That means this journal has been existing for 4 years. That one there shows that it's the first production in the 4th year. Okay, then followed by page number 64 to 72. If it is textbooks, we put the titles as well, the year, the name of the textbook, the edition or the editors, the name of the publishers, the location of the publication, and then the page number. You can see in this case now the page number differs. We have P, capital letter P, small letter p. This is for if we have a page range. But if it's only one page, it will only be capital P. But we have ranges of pages. We have capital letter P, small letter p. We have the thesis. If you copy someone's thesis, you cite him this way too. BSc, for instance, engine, project report, mechanical engineering department, University of Ilorin, Nigeria. So these are to cite these things, okay? And if you get your information from report, you write global SC, this calculation of the flow, blah blah blah. So this is how we report reports. This is how we cite reports, referencing. Proceedings, like this one come from conference. You know, outcome of submission in conferences are called proceedings. So they are mostly in booklets. We call it proceedings. So you can see these are to cite proceeding and end with page 2. Okay, so these are the patterns of how we can reference. Okay, so this is what we call APA. This is the APA style of what referencing. You can see in each one we didn't put number. Okay, in the if it is the Harvard, you put that as we started Tetubum 3. So if when you come to number 3, to be 1, Oyeleke will be number 1, Hannah will be number 2, Terebo will be number 3. That Terebo now. So we have that Tetubum will be number 3 in that order. So the order according to number, not according to alphabet. So the unique thing here is alphabetical ordering. Okay. So the reference is alphabetical. Okay. A will come before B, B will come before C, C will come before D. If you have 2A, maybe A, B, A, C. A, B will come before A, C. Okay, in that order. Then if you have 2 A's the same year, are you understanding? So normally some journal will have someone's name published in the same year. So one will be A, one will be what? B. For instance now, Oba 2024. I have 2 publications bearing my name in the same year. So if you are citing, one will be Oba 2024 in the bracket A, the other one will be Oba 2024 in the bracket B. So these are 2 differences in citations, okay? But it's alphabetical, it must come alphabetical and in order, okay? Then the appendix. Appendix with large figures should be reduced to A4 size where possible to avoid multiple folding. In most cases, appendix contain all the figures corresponding to the report, photocopies of documents, cuttings and not trace drawings, other materials which may be crucial to the report. So in appendix, you can put formulas, formula of media use, photographs of what you are doing in the lab, photographs, statistical analysis can also be placed here, drawings can be placed, statistical analysis can be placed. For those who work under ethical approval, maybe you apply for a hospital to give you an ethical approval to do your work, so you can put your request and the approval letter in the appendix, appendical what pages. Sometimes some people don't like discarding all their results. In result section we will present results either in tables or in figures. So either in tables or you don't put both tables and figure in the same results section. No, it's wrong. Either you take table or you take figure. But some people don't like discarding any of them. So in this case, if you want the figure to appear in the result section, no problem. But if you don't want to discard everything, you can also take the table we use to plot the figure back. You can place it in the appendix section to cover up. Okay, so that is so these are some of the things that you can, this color of reaction, and picture of equipment, formula of media, approval of maybe approval letter to give you access to the lab. Some of those things can be placed in the appendix page. Okay, additional comment we want to make, which is of emphasis, is report format. Appropriate formatting of report improve the readability and accessibility of information. Every department outline the essential formatting guideline required of every report. So reports should maintain the same internal style and structure throughout. Reports are processed on the computer. White A4 paper, printing on one side only is preferred for projects. So we use A4 paper, not a lega paper. Don't use lega, use A4 paper. Okay, but some people like engineering and architecture, they use this A3. They will use A3 paper. Surveyors, they use A3 papers to print the results of what they want the audience to see. Architectures, surveyors, they use A3. Okay, so we have A4, we use lega, but most projects work undergraduate and even postgraduate are mostly printed in what? A4 paper. Okay, A4 paper. The recommended margins are usually 3 on the left, 2.5 on the right, 3.0 on the top and bottom. Except where necessary, normal margin can be used with ruler. So in most cases we use normal margin. We use normal margin and then you can use normal margin except where necessary. Then put a ruler. Ruler gives you margin. It gives you a scale where the text can begin and where it will end within the A4 paper. So all these are in the Microsoft menu. Microsoft menu, when you open your computer, open Microsoft Word, go to the menu, you see them under paper setup or layout. You see margin there. Okay, so we use 1.5 line spacing times New Roman, 12 font size, normal size for the body of report. So I had emphasized this previously. Okay, in a previous video on seminar writing and reporting and presentation. So this is a 1.5 times New Roman 12. The front page should not be numbered, while all other preliminary pages are Roman numerals. Okay, remember that the previous lecture slide I said that the preliminaries are in Roman numerals. So please, with the exclusion of the front page, but from title page, we can be, it should not be numbered. So the preliminary page should be Roman numeral. Okay, so you numeral, you Romanly numeral the preliminary pages with the exception of the front page. So from title page to approval, certification, dedication, amendment. So those ones you use Roman numerals, but in front page don't Roman numeral it. Okay, all other pages from introduction page to the end of the appendix are numbered in the middle bottom page, footer, in Arabic numeral. So with Arabic numeral 1, 2, 3 for introduction to the last listing to the appendix section. And the numbering, please, there are different types of numbering. Page number, some are top, some are bottom, some are side, some are left and right, you know. So we use bottom center. We use middle or center bottom page numbering, Arabic number 1, 2, 3, you know that, okay? Then one space between headings and subheadings. So between one heading and subheading, maybe for example introduction and the sub, maybe introduction and the subheading, like background to the study. Between them, one spacing should be done. One spacing between paragraph, one paragraph and the other, one spacing. Two spaces between the end of a section and the next heading is required, so that should be two spacing. Okay, between the end of a section and the other, it should be two spaces. For instance, now you have a statement or problem, you want to begin it after introduction, so there should be two spaces left. The supervisor can provide some help regarding the technical accuracy of what? The report. So you see, back to supervisor. He is your academic father or guide and director in this aspect. Technical language. Effective use of technical language is a critical part of report writing. Important aspect of technical language to be considered are structure, grammar, vocabulary, and punctuation. All botanical names and Greek words used should be what? Italicized. For instance, you are using etol. Etol means what? And others. Beta, alpha, Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus. So the Staphylococcus should be italicized. The aureus should be what? Italicized. So when you are using botanical names like species and genus, they should be italicized, etc. Should be italicized. If you are using in vivo, in vitro, they should be italicized. So a lot of Greek and botanical names are usually what? Italicized. Go to italics. Go to the computer, choose the menu. Under the menu, you see the italics character there. You select it after you have highlighted your text. Okay. A quality scientific report exhibits the following characteristics. 1. A clear statement of aim and purpose. 2. A concise and precise presentation of details. 3. A concise and precise presentation of details. 3. A cohesive and logical development of what? Of data and what? Ideas. Okay? Of that. 4. Consider the objective separation of fact and opinion. And 5. Categorize layout of well-spaced headings. Categorize layout of well-spaced headings and paragraph. Okay, so these are what a quality project report, either in project write-up, a graduate, master's thesis or dissertation, PhD thesis or dissertation, as the case what may be. Appearance, spelling, grammar, and neatness are important components of report writing. Clear and simple English should be used with simple sentences, without slangs, or while avoiding repetition of a particular words in a report. You know, some of you try to bring the language, the lingua franca, a language that you use in social media writing. ASAP. Don't go and write ASAP. If the necessary that you want to write as soon as possible, you write. Don't go and write ASAP. Don't put slangs there. Okay? So please avoid them and so on and so forth. So write full and then legibly and neat as well. Okay, check your grammar and spelling. Avoid the use of capital letters for emphasis. Bold and italics may be used where necessary, where such emphasis are required. So if for example you want to make an emphasis, if a word you want to make an emphatic stress on a word, you can use italics. You can italicize that word or bold it. You now know that you want to place an emphasis on that word to your audience. Tables and graphs should be well organized and clearly labeled. So I think I have emphasized based on list of tables and list of charts or figures. So you organize it. Use computer. Computer will help you to label the legend, the axis, the title, and all other components. It will help you in labeling it very, very well. They should be able to stand as separate entities. I think I have mentioned it. It should stand as separate entities. So each page, each table, each graph, each chart, each appendix, each page. The same thing with statistical analysis table or chart, as case may be too. Okay. The scaling of graphs should be done in such a manner that the graph is not crowded in a corner or on the side, but cover a major part of the sheet. So centralize your images. That is what he's trying to talk about. Don't place it too much on top, and don't place it too much below. That is down. Don't place it more on one side, and don't place it more on the other side, maybe left or right. Centralize it. It makes it more conspicuous. The use of SI unit is what required. Put SI unit. Every parameter has an SI unit. What is the SI unit? Okay. Okay. International standard unit. So every parameter, okay, like milligram, work to some significant figures. That if a diameter is determined as this, for instance, you can see if we do this calculation now, we can measure the diameter of a substance, and we have this 6.40. This is too much based on decimal places. So in the calculation, so it's good to can reduce it to two significant figure to give you 6.45. Yeah, because the 3 is insignificant there. So we have 6.45 millimeter. So millimeter is the SI unit of diameter measured. Okay. So it's important. Proofreading. This is the checking of every aspect of written work, the content, grammar, layout, etc. of the writer. Do not submit any work or report without first proofreading it. It may not be possible for the writer to proofread accurately because of familiarity with one job where mistakes may not be found. Have a colleague read the report for clarity, organization, and visual design. It can be given to somebody who is knowledgeable in the area of the project to proofread, whose name is recorded and acknowledged. So we want to emphasize here without ambiguity that it's important you give your work because of the fallibility of man, the weakness of man, the imperfection of man. It's important you give your work to someone, and most especially not anyhow person, someone who is knowledgeable in that area of study you have carried out or research work you have done. So it's like in this case your supervisor who has been guiding you from the beginning to that summary style where you have typed and okay, you ready for submission. So it's important you give to such fellow to read for you. Okay. And then it's important, that is why it's good where the person, for instance, is not your supervisor, because normally you acknowledge your supervisor in the acknowledgement page. Where the person is not your supervisor, it's important you record that person, you acknowledge that person. And where works of such are published, try and acknowledge that person. This is part of the encouragement you can do. You might not give the person money, but you can do something. You can cite the person. You can put the person in publication. For instance, you publish that work. It's important you put the person in publication. Put that person. Don't just neglect that person. Very, very important. And that is the error some persons do, and it's not that too good. So very, very important. Okay. What you are doing, you are telling the person thank you for the technical input you made to the work. You might not get much, but it's something, build relationship, and some persons, if you don't do it, one of the disadvantages is that some persons, if you don't do it, you might miss out any good thing they might want to give you in the future. They might see you as a selfish researcher who is only interested on his or her own self-glorification and not on others. So learn to acknowledge, learn to cite, also learn to include those others too learn to put them also in publications as co-authors. Yes, because in every publication, normally in standard and international renowned journal, they will ask you, they always demand for the roles of each authors. So in that case, now the person proofreaded the work from the beginning to the end and made a lot of technical and intellectual input there. So the person also contributed, actually. It's not that you're just putting the person for, one name that is, he's my brother or he's my colleague, but the person actually contributed in that regard, okay? So the deadline, very, very important here. Be aware of the deadline for the completion of every report and try to meet it up. Remember, there is normally a penalty for late submission. Yes, in some places they will penalize you. I've seen a case where somebody did not submit on the D-Day, and the person submitted on the last day of the defense. And it was a good work. But the external examiner penalized the person. The person had a B. Very good work that should have earned the person an A. The person had a B. You see? You understand? You see? So please, let's take note of this. Let's meet up with deadline. Deadlines are very important. When a department, faculty, or school gives you a deadline to submit your project work, please endeavor to meet up with the deadline. Do everything you can, as much as it lies on you. Put every effort to meet up with the deadline. So these are some of the references used. These are some of the references used. You can see KC 1995, 1905, okay, and TAPE. So these are some of the references used. So in conclusion, in a nutshell, you need material, inspirational, wisdom, and finance to run either a good, wise, and meticulous seminar or project work. See, when I say material, you need internet material, you need textbooks, proceedings, as I mentioned initially. You need inspiration. Sometimes you can be given those materials. You need a deep inspiration. You need to be inspired to conceive and get an idea out of that material. And we need wisdom. Once you have conceived that idea in you, how do you put it into reality? Maybe putting it in writing now in your own perspective or direction. That is where the wisdom comes now. Then you need finances. Okay? If you have if you have inspiration and wisdom but you don't have money, it can limit you. For those of you who are in science, you need to buy chemicals, you need to buy reagents, materials to work. It's cost implicating. So you need finance to run. In fact, part of the thing that is limiting, is part of the limitation of studies here in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, here is finance. Most studies are not well done because of finance. So they are put here as a recommendation. So you need it, finance. Very, very what? Important. Then the Holy Books told us in Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search it out. So it is God's privilege to conceal a thing, and the king's privilege to discover them. So every student on campus who has come to the city of learning is a king. You are a king. There is a glory in that king. It is his duty to search out. The essence of university is to search out. The reason for university is for you to find out, to work it out, to fish out, to examine, to x-ray, to get out something, to bring something into what? Reality. So it's your privilege to discover. The university was created by the founding fathers for discovery of things for the benefit of what? Mankind. Okay? So if maybe you are listening to me now and you lack wisdom, the Holy Book says that James 1:5 says, let him ask of God who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. So ask God for wisdom. Seek it, you find it. Find! Okay? Knock, it will be given to you. Yes. Look for it. So Jeremiah 10:20 say, oh God, I know the way of man is not himself. It is not a man who walks directly. In fact, on your own, you can be limited. But with God, nothing is what? Impossible. So it is something to note that this treatise, I mean, is this guideline on how to write seminar, on how to write projects and present it. This treatise on how to write and prepare, okay, commit to whatever you are writing or preparing to the able standard, and you're going to do what? Direct your path what? Okay, to what? Excellence. If you enjoy our lecture series on writing and preparing for your research project and presentation as well, so you can like, comment, subscribe, okay, share where necessary, okay. So we hope you keep up our subsequent lecture series as more videos will be coming on your views. Thank you for listening, and God bless.